Hey guys, so I'm Jamie Bustler and I wanted to give a little testimonial for Frank the Fighter Foundation and give you a little backstory. Hopefully I won't make my phone shake because my hands are shaking, but here's one of my Frank the Fighter shirts. That's one of my favorites. You Are My Sunshine. Looking back, this song rings in my head over and over, seeing Rachel sit in the NICU and hold baby Frank. And the words to the song and her looking down and singing to her baby, not knowing what the future was going to be for baby Frank and the rest of their family. I couldn't get this song, I still can't get the song out of my head. Years and years later, you know, I live in Nashville, so I don't live in Cape anymore. However, Trey has been one of my nearest and dearest friends since high school. I've grown close to Rachel over the years since she married Trey. We share a huge group of friends that are like family to us. And when Rachel started this foundation, you know, it was something that I always wanted to support, even if I was not physically there, if I couldn't attend the birthday parties or I couldn't be in Cape, buying a t-shirt and wearing it proudly. So I look forward every year to the designs that are coming out. 15 months ago, I had my second baby, and I went in for a routine ultrasound in Nashville. Her heart rate was low. Her breathing was not good. Her practice breathing was non-existent. She wasn't doing her movements, so they immediately sent me to the hospital and to the OR. And little did I know I was having a baby that day. No car seat, no bag packed, no family in town, no friends knew I was. My husband wasn't with me. And they warned me she would likely go to the NICU, being at the gestational period that she was at, her being 6 weeks early, and most likely her weight, and, you know, we would go from there. So I'd say I thought the hardest moment was when she was born, them placing her on my chest, but immediately taking her away so they could take her to the NICU to assess all of her vitals and, you know, check her health and see how things were going. I thought that was the hardest part. I think you're still in shock going into such an emergency surgery and a C-section at that, and not being able to see what's going on around you. And that was it. That was all I got to see of my baby. That night, my sister came into town around 9 o'clock, and Riley was born about 3:30 p.m. That was the first time I actually got to go up to the NICU and see her and touch her through her incubator. Well, then now that was the next hardest moment that I had ever faced. I thought it was them taking her to the NICU, but it was then me visiting her in the NICU. Sorry. The next 48 hours were really difficult. I wasn't even allowed to hold her for the first time until that following Saturday. I held her, she was born on a Thursday afternoon. I held her Saturday night for the first time. I stayed in the hospital by myself on Sunday to stay with her because I wanted to be able to go to the NICU and do feedings and check on her progress. I was released from the hospital on that following Monday without my baby. It is never what I planned for. It wasn't anything I had ever thought that I would go through. And as I was picked up by Rob, he brought me home. I walked into the front door, a disaster, a roller coaster of emotions, excited to see my 2-year-old, go get him from school and hug him, hope my mind would be taken off her in the NICU and that I couldn't be there at all times and that she was going to be okay. And on the dining room table was this box, and if there was nothing more in the box than a handwritten card with a picture of baby Frank on it, that's all I needed. I read it first and foremost. I melted down and sobbed. I text Rachel right away because at that moment in time, that was the loneliest moment I'd ever had in 40 years ever of my life. And to have such a neat foundation and it being, you know, close friends of mine that suffered such a tragic loss but were there for me on a day to pick me up and to give me something to be hopeful for and a box of cheer. I can't say enough good things about this foundation. Trey, Rachel, you guys are amazing. I love you. I love what you do for the community in Cape. I love that you keep Frank's memory alive. And most importantly, I just thank you guys so much for being a part of my life and giving me something to look forward to, giving me something positive to have when I came home without a baby that I was never prepared for. I can't imagine what you guys went through. I'm thankful that Riley was only in the NICU 3 weeks, but it was the longest, hardest 3 weeks of my life. She is a thriving, chunky little baby now. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, of Rob's heart, the Bustler family, for everything that you did for us when she was in the NICU. And it helped wonders. And it helped my heart in one of the saddest times I've ever gone through. So Frank the Fighter Foundation, you do amazing things. Keep kicking butt, guys.